today as we make our way through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, a couple of quick things. One, this is a real truck, and I am actually driving it. So please, keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times. Please remain seated at all times, even when the truck is not in motion. Please do not make any loud noises, animal sounds, kissing noises, or try to get the attention of any of the animals on the reserve, as that can agitate them, cause them to walk away, and create an unsavory experience for everyone on board. We are entering these animals' homes, so we do want to be very respectful. If you look directly above you, you're going to see an animal spotting guide, and if you look directly in front of you, you're going to see your animal spotting guide. I hope you're ready for more things like that. Right now, we're just going to wait for the all clear. If you look directly to your right, you're going to see the sign that says Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Underneath that animal, that is the sable antelope. I'll make sure to point it out if we come across it. They are the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. If you guys have cameras, go ahead and put them on a sport or action mode. That'll be the best way to get as many great pictures of all the animals as we possibly can. And without further ado, let's have a fun and fantastic time. Can everyone say Twin Day? Twin Day! Let's go. So, the first portion of the reserve that we'll be entering is known as the forest, and the animals of the forest are going to use their fur as a layer of camouflage to hide from other animals and other predators, so we do have to keep our eyes peeled for any animals we may come across. The first animals that I spot are going to be on the left-hand side is these two pairs of birds with colorful bills. They're known as saddle-billed stork. Now, they don't look too big, but if you notice, their legs are at a 90-degree angle. They're actually laying down. They're actually going to be another 2 to 3 feet taller than what they actually look like. They get their name because of their yellow-shaped saddle on their bill. They are extremely territorial. They will only ever share their land with a mate, and then when they have a mate, both of them will use their 9-foot wingspan in order to scare off other storks. If you need an idea of how much 9 feet is, the tarp above you is only 7 feet. If you look directly above you, we're going to have the tail end of that okapi. Now, a lot of people think that okapi are related to zebras because of those black and white stripes, but they're actually closely related to giraffes. And just like giraffes, they're going to have a very long prehensile tongue that allows them to grab onto vegetation all around them. Their tongues are so long that they can actually lick their own eyes whenever they start to dry out. Now, what you do with that information, I'm not sure, but you do now have it. Now we're going to go just around the river bend here, and on the left-hand side, we're going to have us the black rhino. The black rhino is going to weigh 3,000 pounds. They are antisocial and territorial, so they don't really hang out with other animals. They are herbivores, as you can see, because he's eating that stick. And they're going to eat about 150 pounds of food a day. Upcoming on our right-hand side, these beautiful antelope, these lovely ladies, are going to be known as greater kudu. They're going to be on the larger side of the antelope families. They're going to weigh anywhere between 800 to 900 pounds. You might be wondering, well, how can we tell that they're female? So that's pretty easy. They don't have any horns. Only male greater kudus will have horns. And the horns on the male greater kudu will grow anywhere between 4 to 5 feet. On the left, up on that hill, those beautiful antelope with orange skin and white pinstripes are known as bongo. They're easily identifiable by their fur and those beautiful horns that are going to grow anywhere between 24 to 32 inches in length and will be found on both male and female bongo. And similarly to greater kudu, both the bongo and greater kudu will be able to eat anywhere between 60 to 90 pounds of food a day. Now, is this anybody's first time on the safari? Hi, a couple of us. Well, it's my first day too, so we're all gonna have a great time together. So as we exit the forest, the next portion of the reserve that we'll be entering is known as the Safi River, and the animals here are going to be very aquatic in nature. The first animal that I see is on the other side of the river. Those white birds, they're going to be known as pink-backed pelicans. Now, pink-backed pelicans get their name because during their mating season, their skin is going to turn a light pink color. It's going to look like they're blushing. It's extremely noticeable underneath their wings, and that lets other pelicans know that they're ready to mate. But if you ask me, they're blushing because we have such a great group of guests on board today. You know, I don't think I've ever received pure silence from a compliment before, but I suppose there's a first time for everything. Now on the left-hand side, we're going to have some hippos. They're not rocks, they're actually hippos. If you notice, some of them are sticking just the top portions of their head above the water. That is on purpose. Their bodies have evolved over time to where all of their orifices that require air circulation, eyes, ears, mouth, and nose, are going to be found on the top of the head. So whenever they need to breathe, they just pop in and pop back out. They're going to spend the majority of their time underwater, and the reason being is that they sunburn very easily, more easily than humans. As a result, they've been able to breathe underwater for up to 8 minutes at a time. They're going to weigh 5,000 pounds, and they're going to eat anywhere between 60 to 80 pounds of food a day. Now, they are herbivores, but they do have razor-sharp teeth and tusks that they will use to eat their food as well as to defend their young. On the left-hand side is the first carnivore of the day. These are Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles will weigh 500 pounds and can easily eat up to half their own body weight. So that's going to be about 250 pounds of food in a single sitting. When they hatch, because they do come from eggs, they're going to grow anywhere between 16 to 20 feet in length. They are incredibly aggressive and territorial. Anytime anything falls into their area, they will attack suddenly and without warning. Now, they're interesting predators. They're not going to go looking for their prey. They're going to wait for their prey to come to them. As a result, they average about 1 meal a week, but have been known to go up to a month in between their meals. Now, that's one of the few reasons I can never be a Nile crocodile. I enjoy eating far too much. If you need a reference, you can ask my waistline. Another reason I could never be a Nile crocodile is because I'm a human. That's going to be a very long safari, everyone. Now, on the right-hand side, this tree with no leaves is known as the baobab tree. The baobab tree also has the nickname the upside-down tree, and that's because when those leaves aren't blooming, it does look like roots are growing up into the air. Now, baobab trees are incredibly important as they can hold over 30,000 gallons of water. So, during droughts and drier portions of the year, animals will flock to baobab tree in order to drink water and to hydrate. And this portion of the reserve that we're entering is known as the savanna. The savanna is incredibly important to their ecosystems because they're home to so much biodiversity. Whether you're talking vegetation or species of animals, you'll find over 1,000 different species that will call the savanna its home. If you look over to the right, we're going to have 2 more species of antelope. That's single wildebeest, part of the antelope family, even though they may not look like it. And further out, those smaller ones are springbuck. They're the second smallest species of antelope in the world, and they are incredibly cool. For one thing, they can jump up to 6 feet in the air from a standstill. They'll be able to run up to 35 miles per hour, and they'll be able to jump as far as 13 feet in length with the running start. The horns on the springbok are going to grow anywhere between 6 to 8 inches in length and will be found on both male and female springbok. If you look over on the right, we're going to have the Hartmann's mountain zebra. They're very unique when it comes to species of zebra as a whole, but I'm going to put a nice little pin on that conversation. If you look to your left-hand side, we're going to have painted African dogs. Painted African dogs are distant relatives of domesticated dogs. They get their name for their beautiful coat of tan and fur response of black and white. They can run up to 44 miles per hour, and they're some of the most successful predators out in the savannah. And they get that title because they will hunt together as a pack in order to tire out their prey. Now, we're going to ignore these giant, tall animals for just a moment because you guys are in for a real treat. We have 2 new members of our reserve. We have 2 baby Hartmann's mountain zebra. They're about 3.5 weeks old, and they've been on the reserve for a little over a week and a half. And there they are on the left.
Oh, look at them.
There's one of them. There's both of them, actually. So, Hartmann's mountain zebra. One thing that separates them from other species of zebra is on their necks. They're going to have a flap of skin known as a dewlap, and that dewlap is going to help regulate their body temperature and keep them nice and cool during warmer parts of the year. They're also going to have the biggest hearts out of any species of zebra because they live in very mountainous areas. The hearts of the Hartmann's mountain zebra have evolved over time in order to pump enough oxygen into their blood as they get higher and higher in elevation. The stripes on the zebras are incredibly unique. No 2 zebras will share the exact same stripe pattern. And that's going to help them avoid predators because predators will not be able to distinguish one zebra from the next because all their stripes will blend in together. Now going back to those tall animals, those are giraffes. They are the tallest terrestrial animals on land. Specifically, these are Maasai giraffe, and they get their name because they were discovered along the Maasai tribe in Nigeria. A fully grown male Maasai giraffe will grow to be 20 feet tall, and a fully grown female will grow to be 18 feet tall. If I could have everyone on board look at your forearm for just one moment, your forearm is going to be anywhere between 16 to 18 inches in length, and that is the same length as a giraffe's tongue. Giraffes' tongues are prehensile. Now what that means is they're able to form a grip strength with their tongue similar to our hands, and they'll use that grip strength in order to grab onto vegetation and food high up in the trees. And they're going to eat about 90 pounds of food a day, and they'll do that for about 20 hours of the day. So on the right, you're going to see some more wildebeest, and you might be thinking, that's a lot of wildebeest in one spot. And you'd be correct. If you guys have seen The Lion King, and you remember the scene where the wildebeest are running down the canyon, that's close to what you should expect to see in real life. Wildebeest herds in the wild are going to number anywhere between 10 to 1,000 in a single herd. They don't have a dominant wildebeest that will tell the herd what to do. They actually do things very democratically. They will all decide together what they want to do and where they want to go. And when wildebeest are migrating, all those herds are actually going to join to form a super migrating herd. And those migrating herds have documented reports of wildebeest numbers as high as 1.5 million in a single migrating herd. But let's go ahead and talk about the elephants in the room. Directly in front of us, we're going to have the African elephants. Now, we're able to tell that this is the African elephant because it's from Africa. In reality, if you look at the shape of their ears, one, they're going to be very, very large, especially when compared to other species of elephants, and two, it's going to resemble the continent of Africa. Now, those two facts in conjunction help us determine that they are, in fact, African elephants. And if you look directly on your left, those two animals that look very, very familiar, if you've seen The Lion King, Rafiki is loosely based off this animal. That is the mandrill. The mandrill for the longest time were classified as apes, but the scientific community recently came together to reclassify them as monkeys, as they do have tails. That reclassification has made them some of the largest species of monkeys in the world, with males clocking in at about 100 pounds and females anywhere between 40 to 50. You can separate male and females apart not only by their size difference, but because males will have a much more vibrant shade of blue and red on their hindquarters and on their face. Now, friends, as we approach this bridge, we're going to take it nice and slow, but I promise it is perfectly safe. Now, no need to worry, everyone. I am a professional. I've been driving on this bridge for well over a week. So elephants will be found on two regions of the world, one of them being Africa and the other is Western Asia around India and Pakistan. So most elephants found on the continent of Africa will be classified as African elephants. If you look on your left and right, you're going to notice red clay pits. Not the most interesting thing in the world, but if you keep looking on your right, you're going to see those scratch marks on that red clay. Those scratch marks are made by elephant tusks. Elephants will eat red clay because it is a fantastic source of nutrients and vitamins for them. It's going to keep them nice and healthy, and to them, they take it like a one-a-day pill every single day in order to keep staying healthy. Now, fully grown male African elephants will weigh 13,000 pounds and fully grown females will weigh 11,000 pounds. To put that weight into context, this truck, when loaded with guests, will weigh about 4,000 pounds. They're going to be able to eat anywhere between 300 to 400 pounds of food a day, and they are herbivores, so they only eat vegetation as well as other plants. Elephants are going to have great communicational skills. They'll be able to communicate over vast distances up to a couple of miles, and they'll do that by creating low-sounding frequencies and vibrations undetectable by human ears and by other animals. That's because elephants have incredibly great hearing. One of my favorite facts about elephants that not a lot of people know about, elephants are able to swim. In fact, they love to swim, and they can fully submerge themselves underwater for up to 5 minutes at a time. If you guys ever get the chance to visit us during the rain, this pool here on our left will actually fill up with elephants, and they'll all go swimming together. Elephants are also going to have a matriarch, meaning that they have a dominant female that will run the herd, telling them where to go, what to do, and what not to do. When a male elephant grows to a certain age, the matriarch will ask them to leave the herd so that they can find a mate or go join a bachelor group of elephants. Speaking of pools, on our left-hand side, this pool is filled with greater flamingo. Now, greater flamingo are the largest species of flamingos in the world. They are going to have a much lighter shade of pink to them compared to most flamingos. A group of flamingos will be called a flamboyance, and a lot of people think that flamingos will get their color when they hatch, but that's not true. Flamingos will actually hatch a light gray. They're going to get their color due to their diet, and their diet's going to consist mainly of shrimp. Shrimp are high in a protein called beta-carotene, and that beta-carotene over time will turn their bodies that lovely shade of pink that they're known for, and that process will take anywhere between 1 to 2 years to fully develop. Now, maybe she's born with it, maybe it's carotene. Kids, you can ask your parents why that's funny. And if you look over on your left, you're going to notice that giant pool of mud. Now you might be thinking to yourselves, well, why are you pointing at mud? If I wanted to look at mud, I would have stayed home. Well, animals such as rhinos and elephants will go to pools of mud. Oh, if you guys are quiet, you can hear the lion roaring. Let's stay pretty quiet for now. On the right-hand side, the danger of the reserve, that is the ostrich. The ostrich is going to be the biggest bird in the world. She is, however, flightless. Those wings will not help them soar into the sky, but will rather help them as they run. Ostriches can run at a terrifying 40 miles per hour, and those wings will act as a rudder and as a way to balance themselves when they run, because when they attempt to run at those high speeds without using their wings, more often than not, they will trip and fall over themselves. Going back to those pools of mud.
There's a cheetah.
Elephants and rhinos will swim in those pools of mud in order to cool themselves off, and more importantly, they'll let that mud cake onto their body, and they'll use it as a layer of sunscreen in order to block off the sun's rays. It's going to help prevent their body from getting burned. Once again, friends, let's just stay on the quiet side in case our lions decide to roar again. So on the reserve, there will be 2 lions. We have a male and a female. You'll be able to tell them apart because the male lion will have that mane of fur, the female lions will not. And a group of lions is going to be called a pride, and in their prides, they're going to have very distinct roles. They are nocturnal, so they're going to do most of their hunting at night, and it's the females that actually do the hunting for the pride. I'll slow down in case you guys want to get great pictures of the lions. And up top, just above the head of the male lion, will be the female lion. Like I said, she's the one who's going to be doing most of the hunting for the pride. The male lions will actually stay behind to protect the pride and the rest of their territory. Lions will get about 16 hours of sleep a day, more or less, and they are carnivorous. They're going to eat about 150 pounds of food a day, assuming that they can catch it. And during the day, lions will have the same level of eye strength as you and I, but at nighttime, their eye strength is going to grow to be 6 times as strong, giving them an impeccable field of vision of their surroundings and of their prey. Now I ask that we just remain quiet for a little while longer, as if they do decide to roar again, we can still hear them in the next section. Now, you guys have just seen some very famous cats. The lions on the reserve were used as models for Disney animators for the lions in the newest Lion King movie. So you guys have just seen Simba and Nala. Simba is Swahili for lion, Mufasa is Swahili for king, and Rafiki is Swahili for friend. Does anyone know what Pumbaa is Swahili for?
Yes.
Pumbaa is Swahili for fool. Now on the right hand side, we're going to have white rhinos. Now no need to worry. Compared to black rhinos, white rhinos are incredibly friendly and extremely social. They are able to free roam, and they do like hanging out with one another. They're going to weigh anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 pounds, about a ton more compared to black rhinos that only weigh about 3,000 pounds, and they will still continue to eat about 150 pounds of food a day. Now, a group of white rhinos will be called a crash, and white rhinos are also nearsighted, meaning that they can't really see too far out in front of them. They're going to rely more on the sense of hearing and smell to navigate the world around them. And on the right-hand side, we did see ostriches, and now we're going to see some ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are going to weigh anywhere between 3 to 4 pounds, and they are incredibly sound and strong. So strong, in fact, that the average human male can stand on them, and they will not crack or break. Now, one question I get asked very frequently in relation to those eggs, are they real? And I can tell you from first-hand experience that they are. I had the unfortunate luck of seeing an ostrich lay an egg right in front of me, and I can tell you that it changes you. You're not quite the same person you were before, and in case you were wondering, it does impact your ability to give a safari, as I was unable to stop laughing for the remainder of the trip. Coping mechanisms, am I right? Luckily for us, one species of animal that doesn't lay eggs is on the left-hand side. These are Nigerian dwarf goats. They are the second smallest species of goats in the world, and they are incredibly friendly and docile. They're some of the world's most popular pets. They're going to have a lifespan of anywhere between 15 to 20 years, and they are well known for producing an incredibly sweet milk. Now, show of hands, who on board would like to pet one? A lot of us. Well, if you guys head over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, we'll have a petting zoo there where you can actually pet Nigerian dwarf goats along with a few other species of animals. And the best part is it's going to cost you $0. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Something at the Walt Disney World that doesn't cost you anything. I couldn't believe it myself. Now in that same area, we're going to have the conservation station where you can learn about conservationism, the environment, and our role and impact on it, and different ways that we can help prevent animal habitat loss. Things such as recycling old electronics, reducing the amount of single-use plastics we use, and switching to reusable items such as Tupperware, water bottles, and straws. The 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, go a long way in helping to combat animal habitat loss. And if you're interested in seeing some other great animals, here in Africa, we're going to have Gorilla Falls. That's a 15-minute walking trail where you can see lowland African gorillas, silverback gorillas, monkeys, meerkats, naked mole rats, snakes, okapi. We'll have an aquarium where you can see fish and hippos swimming underwater. And over in Asia, we'll have the Maharaj Jungle Trek, where you can learn about the ages of the Maharaj, see tigers, and they'll potentially be swimming in water. You can see real-life breathing dragons, bats, water buffalo, and we'll have a bird sanctuary with over 160 birds from Asia. Now friends, as our safari comes to an end, there is one final thing I'm going to leave you with, and that is going to be Kwaherini. Can everyone say Kwaherini? Kwaherini. Kwaherini is Swahili for to go well. And friends, as you continue your adventure here at Disney's Animal Kingdom during our very special 25th anniversary, I hope you all Kwaherini, make incredible memories, and discover amazing magic and adventure for you and all your loved ones. Friends, please remain seated till the truck comes to a full and complete stop, and give a nice big wave to Carlos doing a great job.